Of course, they're already disenfranchised. Men are the ones who run the shots most of the time. Do you believe that there are ways that we can change this? Are there ways that your institution is instigating to change this?
Yeah, I think number one is to produce evidence, because I have realized in the gender equality space, we say we have a lot of challenges and we are facing this and this, but usually we have no data, or we have very little data to back what we are talking about. So what we have seen is generally the involvement of women in the agricultural value chain, you know, right from production to processing to marketing, is very minimal, and it's very unequal. And it's very depressing, to be very honest, right? So when it comes to markets, women have no access, because like I said, if you don't have control over the resources that you're using to produce this food, then how can you have control over the market?
Exactly.
And it is a very sad situation, but what we are doing is to provide education to women on how they can empower themselves when it comes to marketing. We have also been trying to do some researches and to document some of those challenges and to provide statistics that we can use to inform policies. The other thing we have done is we're also working with partners. So like our partners in Gilgil Seed Savers, once in a while they organize markets for organic produce, where now we have farmers who actually now bring their produce there. So we have women farmers, so we organize markets and the women farmers bring their produce, and we ensure that people nearby are able to come and purchase from them. So we have actually taken it upon ourselves to actually make the markets work. Other than that, like I said, we cannot win this fight if we don't involve the men. So it's also working with men, especially those who we believe are our allies, who support women empowerment, to support gender equality, to show them the value of having to involve women across the agricultural value chains. And that has, in one way or another, it has helped and is helping to shape the conversation.
It's important to have, as you said earlier, a multi-pronged approach. It's not just the community, it's the community as men and women, and of course the government. You've said policy information, and it's really good to add on to policy, but how about implementation? What are some of the things that, you know, have you contacted, you know, the ministry? Are there some things that the ministry is helping you with to ensure that women have more access to markets? Could there be, you know, women who just merchandise like those chamas? Is that a possibility?
Yes, I believe there are so many stakeholders that we can work with. Our project is, we haven't been around for very long, but we have already mapped allies in this sector. We have mapped stakeholders that we believe if we engage, we are going to have at least a certain level of success when it comes to especially implementation of policies, when it comes to implementation of laws. And we are not doing it alone. So we have identified allies, we have identified stakeholders, we have done researches, we have produced a book. So the first 2 years of the project were about researching and getting our data correct, so that this is the data we are, for example, presenting to these stakeholders, and we are saying, hey, look, these are the statistics, because like I said, we are working in 4 counties and we didn't want to have like this national conversation. What are the statistics at county level, and are the county governments even aware that these things are happening, and what can be done? So if county governments are in charge of agriculture and water, how does devolution then translate to actual implementation of agricultural activities at county level? And have we audited whether actually devolution has helped to accelerate agricultural growth and support women or not? So those are some of the things we have been doing, but I agree, we have to work with stakeholders, we have to work with the ministries, we have to work with National Assembly when it comes to crafting these laws and bills. And amending some, you know, we're also interrogating to see, because we have some very retrogressive laws when it comes to this sector. And also working with our National Assembly, for example, to see what can we amend, what can we enact, what can we introduce. It's 2024. We have laws that were made over 2 decades ago. Are they still applicable? Are they still applicable to today's situation? Yeah. And
things have changed. And speaking of things that have changed, as we start to conclude this conversation, credit for purposes of buying inputs is at around 36.9% for women between the ages of 35 and 64 years. This is according to UN Women. I feel like this number is not so bad, especially considering the age bracket. It seems like women within this demographic are more into agri-tech. They want things to be easier. They are employing...
Agribusiness.
Yes, agribusiness. It's so much easier now to control the value chain. Do you believe that this is a good trajectory that we're taking?
Yeah, I think this is a good trajectory that we are taking.